Hey guys, Abraxas here, and I'm going to be playing some Space Engine. I have a fly buzzing around me, so that might get pretty annoying very quickly. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get started. So I do have quite a few requests here. Looks like only from about 3 or 4 people though, so they have a lot of suggestions for me, I guess. So I guess I'll be doing this in oldest to newest order. So from Derp Sauce Gaming, he wants me to visit another dual planetary system, it looks like. So let's go ahead and check that out. That is HIP 5975-3 and the fourth planet from it. So is that because of that extra space? Yep, there it goes. And it's a hot gas giant. Let's see. This is a hot gas giant and its moon. So its moon is actually bigger than the. Let's see. We got a diameter of 151,000, and over here we have a diameter of 155,000. So its moon is actually bigger than the planet itself. I don't know why this would be, other than possibly mass differences. Let's see. Yes, that looks like that is what that is. The mass on this planet is 6.6, and this one is 2.4. So this one has a greater mass, even though the diameter is actually smaller. So that is technically orbiting around that. But if we check the orbit map, the center point of orbit is right here. So when they orbit around each other, let's go ahead and get this fast forwarded so we can see it. The wider orbit compared to this one, which is just being moved because this one's basically existence. So, yeah. That would be why sometimes the moon is actually bigger than the host planet itself, because density is much more on the host planet. So, yep, okay. So we have another one from Derp Sauce Gaming, and he wants me to visit a desert, and he says it is the biggest desert he's ever found. So let's check that out. Looks like that fly has screwed off. What galaxy are we in? Okay, okay, stop that. Stop. No. You stop spinning right now. What galaxy are we in? Okay, so looks like we're just in some type of spiral galaxy. Probably a randomly generated one. I'm not too sure. Okay, so it is a definitely very hot planet. You can tell by the clouds. They are kind of a nice molten red. And is this... I don't think so. Oh, yeah. And I was asking how to turn up the luminosity in my last episode. Well, I totally derped out. No. Wait. Luminosity? No, that's exposure. I don't think turning up the exposure... Does it? Oh, it does. Okay, so turning up the exposure does actually do that. Um, it does appear that your desert here is actually molten. Oh wow, that looks weird. Yeah, it looks like your desert is a big ball of lava. Just pointing that out. Actually, no. Hmm. That's not lava. That's certainly desert. Why does it look molten on this side though when I turn up the exposure? You guys see that? That's the ground texture there, but it looks like molten lava. I wonder why it's doing that. Is that what the redshift texture just looks like in general? Possibly. That might just have a normal texture, and that's like a heat mapping or something like that. And when I turn up the exposure, I'm able to see that. Because if I go over and go to my settings here, I have an option for thermal emission shift. So as I increase the thermal emission shift, it makes it more visible. In fact, if I have decreased the exposure back to default, I could actually see this. And let's see, is this planet tidally locked? It does not appear to be. Let's hit play and see if we can go to the daytime area. Okay, so here we go. Now we're in the daytime area of the planet. And no, that actually looks like normal, just rock and whatever. Very interesting. Let me default that setting back to normal so we're not dealing with over brightness here. Okay, so I got sidetracked. Let's see. This desert has a diameter of 19,000 kilometers, which if we compare it to... No, wait, is this a desert we're on? Yeah, okay, the fly's being annoying again. Yeah, I think this is the desert we're on. My bad. This is 30,000 kilometers. Okay, that's actually pretty big. I hate to inform you guys, but that fly has passed away. And the fly did not make it to the end of this video. So please leave in the comments below your condolences and other feelings about Mr. Fly. But let's not get sidetracked too much. Let's continue from where we left off. Anyways, if I search here and go to Earth, we have a diameter of, let's see, 12,000 kilometers. So this is roughly 2.5 times the size of Earth. So pretty big. I don't know if I don't actually check the diameter of planets that I go to, so I'm not entirely sure if I've actually been to bigger, like, terrestrial style worlds, like ones that have land and are not just giant balls of gas, pretty much. But yeah, this is a pretty big world. So let's get that off my screen, and let's check this out. We do have a pretty, actually very high altitude cloud layer. The atmosphere actually does span out pretty far from this planet, so it's relatively thick. The temperature of the planet is 835 degrees Celsius. It has a massive greenhouse effect, which is probably due to the atmospheric pressure, which it is 782 atmospheres of pressure, so it is a very inhospitable world. We would not survive on this very long at all. If we stepped on this, we would die. We have a lovely little aurora effect over here, which is pretty high altitude as well. Like, if I come over to the dark side of the planet, it's going to look very high up in the sky. So let's go ahead and touch down right here. And I don't even think I can see the aurora, unless that's the aurora right there. That might be, actually. So yeah, it's a pretty high altitude aurora. It's well above the cloud layer and well up there. And that's actually a pretty cool looking sunset. Got the nice red clouds, and as the sun sets, that's actually pretty cool. Got a nice lovely pink. So I mean, if you're gonna die, at least die to a really nice sunset. But yeah, very cool planet, very big, and hospitable. This is basically, I think, actually, yeah, actually, let's compare this to Venus real quick. Okay, so Venus has an atmospheric pressure of only 92 atmospheres, and is actually a cooler planet than this one. So this one is much more deadly than Venus is. I don't think there will be any chances of ever terraforming this planet. But it looks like we have a moon here. Hello, little moon. Very cool world. Okay, so we have... Let's see... Okay, so we have a couple requests from Andromeda. Looks like he has 5 planets for us to view, so let's go ahead and visit all of them. Which, for future reference, I do like when you guys leave me a lot of suggestions, because these videos have been running a little bit short, so yeah. But please try to limit it down to 3, maybe 4. Mainly because if I had everyone sending me like 5 suggestions each or something like that, they're going to either be really long videos, or I'm going to have to skip suggestions, and I really don't want to do that. I try to get to all of them. So let's go ahead and visit the first one, which is the 3rd planet from a random star, it looks like. So let's check that out. Oh, dang it. There we go. It is a temperate desert. Okay. That's kind of cool looking. Oh, it's a binary system as well. I don't think I've actually seen a desert that looks like this. That's pretty cool. What's going on with the orbits here? What is this orbiting around? Is this orbiting around a star? Okay, it's orbiting around a star. I thought it was orbiting around something else. I was very confused. And as you can tell, it's a binary star system as well. So if I come around over here, you can see there's a nice blue shift. That is due to the blue star over there, which is a blue main sequence star. So we have a blue main sequence star, meaning there's different like sunsets on this planet. Basically, if you're reset my field of view. If you're over here, you're gonna have a bluish sunset as the sun goes down. So, really cool. You're gonna have a nice blue tinted sunset. So, very awesome. Actually, kind of Earth-like, shockingly. And if you're over here, you're gonna have a more reddish sunset, I assume. Got some lovely mountains there. Nicely generated. Kind of looks like some really cool sand dunes. Big fan of that. Here's where it's actually starting to set, right over here. So your sunset's going to be a little bit more kind of red in color. Because that is, I think, either an orange dwarf or a red dwarf. So two completely different sunsets on the different sides of the planet. So that's really awesome. And then over here, well, not only that, the sun would set, and then you would have this thing glowing in the night sky, which is kind of cool. And let's go ahead and zoom in here, and we have a volcano right there. Check that out. A little volcano. And it looks like those kind of deserty hills. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, that's what that looks like. So let's zoom in straight into that portion of the planet. Where was that volcano? There you are. Okay. And the atmosphere actually looks very similar. The atmosphere of... Oh, wow. Actually, that looks a lot cooler in the night sky. But, okay, so we have a kind of different atmosphere here. The colors are the same, but the thickness, it looks like it's actually much more dense on this planet right here. Let's see. The atmospheric pressure is 0.0411 atmospheres of pressure on that planet, but on this planet it is... Oh, it's actually less. Okay. Well, the color definitely stands out a lot more on this planet. It looks like it would be thicker, though. Very interesting. Can't see stars and stuff in the sky. Definitely see that. There's no mistaking that. Let's see if I can see that in the night sky. I think that one's going to look really cool. Oh, wow. Check that out. Let's turn off the orbit map real quick. Get rid of the lines. And, yeah, look at that thing. There's a galaxy in the background. That looks really cool because the atmosphere is kind of red tinted in the night sky. So it makes that planet look very red. I think that looks really neat. Let's see if I can get a nice view of that. You guys have been sending me a lot of like dual planetary systems lately, I've been noticing. Let's decrease my field of view slightly. Yeah, check that out. Can somebody say thumbnail? I think that's a thumbnail. Anyways, really cool worlds. Let's check out your next one, and it is a scorched desert. And here we go. Okay, so this looks very similar to the world we just visited. The diameter is a little bit smaller, though. So it is a scorched desert. Is it orbiting around anything? Dual planetary system? Nope. Let's go ahead and zoom back in. And let's check this out. The atmospheric composition is actually very similar to the previous one. A lot of H2O and CO2. Let's touch down on it. The temperature is actually very similar as well. So, very interesting. It's sitting at a semi-major axis of 620 astronomical units, though. So it's actually pretty far from its host star, wherever that host star might be, and I think that is it. So what are we orbiting around? A white main sequence star, binary system, and a red giant with a spectrum of M9.9. So this is a pretty fair distance away from these stars, but I think they're pretty massive, pretty hot stars. So kind of interesting that it's actually taking on this much heat from 620 astronomical units away. And we have a beautiful looking storm here. I think that one rendered out really nicely, especially against this lovely sunset. Check that out. Okay, looking at the accretion disk of a black hole. Cool view. Is my field of view default? There we go. Whoa, look at that as we fly up to it. That's kind of trippy because there's a cloud layer, and then there's the actual hurricane itself. That looks just absolutely lovely. If you want to visit this yourself, go check out the ID in the corner, but you can check out the planet. If you can get this hurricane at this point in time, you can see this amazing view. Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. Sunrise, I think. I don't think these hurricanes actually rotate, though. Oh yeah, it's a sunrise. Very cool. Okay, so the next planet he wants me to visit is a Terra with life, so let's go ahead and check that out. And here we go. Cool Terra with life. Multicellular, marine, and terrestrial. Planet. It is half thawed, so the cold side is a lot of ice pretty much. The atmospheric composition is nitrogen, oxygen, and CO2, very similar to what we have. The orders are just a little bit misbalanced. The ESI on it is 80%, which, if you were to ask me, I would say this is not similar to Earth in any way whatsoever, but it's a really cool alien-looking world. So from the outside of the planet, looking down on it, it looks like we have some kind of very dark sea green water, so very cool. And it looks like we have very purple looking life, so let's go ahead and touch down on this and check out what it looks like. Okay, so the atmosphere is a nice kind of navy blue, I would say, and then you have like a kind of golden yellow going on with the star over there, with kind of a more beige yellow on the horizon. So let's go ahead and look around here. And is this a life texture? That does look like a life texture, but the life is purple, so it is a Zerg world, it looks like. And over here we have this green water, and yes, it is actually certainly very green. Very cool. So it looks like we have that grass texture or root texture or something going on there, and then it fades off to Zerg creep. And then we have like the sand on the beach right there. So very cool. Very nice looking. And if we come over here, we should be able to see the kind of area where the ice is actually forming. Yeah, so here's the field of ice where it's all forming. Basically, this area of the planet, since it is tidally locked, it is always facing its parent star. So anything under the storm probably would not survive. It is incredibly hot. Anything kind of on this border over here between hot and cold would be able to survive. And this is where you'd mainly find life, is along this kind of equator, I would say. It looks like we do have some volcanic activity. We certainly do, and they have little snow caps on them, so very awesome. Yeah, this is a very cool looking Terra. This is actually, I haven't seen anything quite like this. I've seen ones with like purple life and stuff, but like this kind of palette of colors is definitely a unique one and very cool find. And if you guys want to visit it, the ID, as always, is in the top left corner. So let's check out the next one, and you're saying it's a system with 2 planets that are Terras. And here we go. We are going straight to an orange dwarf. Hello, little orange dwarf. Okay, so we have something with life. Let's just check that out. And that is a Terra with life. It looks a little bit more like a desert, but I guess it technically classifies as a Terra since there are little seas and stuff on it. Is this tidally locked? No, but its rotational period is kind of on the slow side, so Let's see if we can get it to rotate and see if there's like actually any more ocean or anything on it. As you can tell, everything's kind of moving around at the moons and all that, but the planet itself is not really rotating. So what that is called, it's called tidal braking. Basically, if you're orbiting too close to your mass, it's going to eventually slow down over millions and millions of years. So eventually this planet will slow down to a point where it will be tidally locked with this star, and it'll become pretty much a inhospitable world. So let's pause it right there. That was actually quite a bit of time that we just scaled through just to get it to actually rotate that far. And here we go. In fact, the influence of our moon is actually tidal braking Earth a little bit, so our days are actually becoming longer and longer over time. But that's not really so much for us to worry about. Only those who are basically making clocks and stuff. We do have like very accurate, basically atomic clocks and all that, so yeah, it's basically just whatever we base time on. Because our Earth days are obviously not exactly 24 hours. We have a really nice purple atmosphere going on here. The life is marine and terrestrial, so we should be able to see something around here. Nice, kind of eroded mountain here in the background, really cool. And this is a very, very purple atmosphere. Got some desert texture thing going on here with some lovely erosion. Looks really nice. Really like how that generated, but let's see if we can find some life real quick. I'm not seeing it from out here. Is this life? It kind of looks like life. I think that's life. And the texture is a little bit low resolution on this planet. I think it's kind of stretched out a little bit, but I think this is life. It's just really orange looking and kind of blends in with the terrain, I guess. Hard to tell. I can't tell if that's just rocky ground or if that's actually like supposed to be. What I could do is possibly go to the other side of the world and see if I can find something a little bit different. It's generating. Okay, yeah, that's definitely life. That's what we got going on here. Okay, so very cool. It's kind of eroded. You can see like little ravines and stuff going on here. And looks like we have some canyons and stuff. So, sitting in the center of a valley right now. The game doesn't really show that too well, but yeah, we're definitely in a valley at the moment. And this, yeah, I have to say this planet generated really nicely. I'm not too big a fan of the color palette used on this planet, but the planet itself looks really cool. I don't think this orange slash green goes really well with the purple atmosphere though. Very cool planet nonetheless. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is over here. This one does not have life, but it is a Terra. And a very cool looking Terra. This color palette looks kind of cool. From the outer atmosphere, it looks like we have a purple sea. You have the atmosphere kind of making it look blue at the edges, but looking straight down at it, it does look kind of purple in this general area. It looks like we're going to have like some kind of pale bluish slash yellowish terrain. Let's go ahead and touch down, and we have some really large polar ice caps, and there's the aurora right there. And smack right into this planet, and we're right here in the center of a very hilly kind of area. Yeah, is it going to generate any higher resolution than that? No, I don't think so. So there's no life on this planet. It's mostly just a bunch of hills and stuff. It is a cool Terra, semi-major axis of 0.5 astronomical units, and it is sitting at a temperature of negative 25 degrees Celsius. The atmospheric pressure is not too great, so the atmosphere is actually not really retaining a lot of heat, and we're also just orbiting a small little dwarf star. So that's causing this to actually be a rather frozen-looking world. In fact, I think I'm actually in a snowy area, and that's what the lighter area is. Over here is probably dirt and other stuff. Yes, that's what it looks like. It looks like we have kind of lake over here and some rocks and stuff like that. The atmospheric composition is CO2, so I'm assuming all these peaks and stuff is possibly frozen carbon dioxide. Maybe. Basically the same stuff you'd see packed in a fire extinguisher. And here is our lovely reddish purple sea we have going on. As you can see, once we break out of the atmosphere a little bit and get close to it, the water is actually kind of maroon red. It's not really so much purple. So, very cool looking. And since it is a dwarf star, if I go ahead and turn on real planet brightness, this might actually get pretty dim. No, it didn't actually dim down too much. Cool suggestions. Let's move on to the last one, which is a Terra with life, and it looks like it might be orbiting a gas giant. This is again from Andromeda. And here we go. Oh wow, that's pretty. We have a lovely kind of, I don't know what I would call that green, but really green looking world. Not a vibrant green, but really I don't know, forest green, military green, that kind of green area. Pine green, something along those lines. And then we have like a kind of reddish, brownish terrain going on here. So let's touch down right here where these mountains are. Okay, so kind of eroded, kind of cool looking mountains. Really spiky, that is for sure. As I get closer to these, they'll round off a little bit, but I mean, really, really pointy, very steep mountains. And over here, it looks like we have some kind of texture going on. It looks like that desert slash. It looks like an. I don't know what I would say. Those are the top of oak trees, maybe, or something like that. In kind of a dry area. But they took on like a different shade of brown and look completely different than they looked like before. Over here, it looks like just moss or something. Let's go over to an area that's a little bit more green, such as this spot right here. We have those round, really rounded off hills, and I don't even know what this is. I'm sure I've seen this texture before. Oh, wait, no. This is the kind of dry area. Might be a pine forest, maybe. Yeah, I see this texture pretty frequently. Looks like a satellite image of like a pine forest or something like that. You know what? Let me do something about that. I'll be jump cutting. I am in I think Utah, the United States. A very dry area, kind of deserty, I would say. And yeah, as I zoom in, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It looks like you took a satellite image of like I have the game up right here. As you can see, I play in a window. It looks kind of like if you look down at this, like it just kind of screen capped an area like this, for example, and made a texture out of that for the game. This is again Google Maps. If I touch down here on the road, you'll see that it's kind of like either an oak forest or a pine forest or something along those lines. Looks like the Google Street View car has not actually been down that road. Let's see if I can find an area kind of similar. Okay, we got a highway over here. This might work pretty well. Right there looks like it might be pine trees and stuff. Let's go ahead and drop the little person here, right here on this section of the road. And here we are, very dry area. So let's see if we can see what kind of trees we are dealing with. Yeah, it looks like pine trees and stuff. So it looks like you kind of took like a satellite image of an area like this and just kind of slapped that into the game. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to point that out. Anyways, let's get back to the game. Okay, so I'm back in the game, and let's see. Very cool looking world so far. We have a volcano here with a ice cap. And it looks like we have some life growing on it. It's not an active volcano. Actually, it kind of is. I'd imagine this would be a volcano with like a lot of ash and stuff just sitting inside the top of it here. Like some of the volcanoes, I think in Hawaii, if I'm correct, you can actually find some active lava and stuff, but you could actually freely walk around like on the top of the volcano itself. Over here we have a kind of cool looking valley in the middle of like a little desert canyon. Very awesome looking. And again with that tree texture. And yeah, it's actually a pretty cool looking little canyon here. That would be a fun one to check out in real life, like go hiking in or something like that. Looks like we have some pointy hills. No, this is actually a little bit more like canyon kind of stuff. It doesn't recess into the ground. It's kind of proud up out of the ground, so that's interesting. I don't know what this actually is. I don't know if this is like the hill generation, because I know when you go to the editor, you have different things to actually mess around with. I don't know if that's actually canyon or hill generation that causes that. But if this was actually level with the terrain, this looks like it'd recess and look like a bunch of canyons or something. But I might just be thinking that just because of this texture right here that it's using for the rock face. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from AAV. And this is probably going to be a long episode. So let's go ahead and check this out. And I am perpetually going backwards as I copy-paste this ID. So let's go ahead and bring up the search tool here and paste in his suggestion. Okay, so let's read his comment. Check out how hot this planet is. Also, it also has cool rings and a view of the Milky Way galaxy. It's in the small Magellanic Cloud. By the way, where I live, this was posted at 2 a.m. on November the 1st. Oh yeah, because I mentioned that was a Happy Halloween video. Yeah, I was shocked I actually got around to uploading that, and did I mistake something here? No, I copy-pasted this thing in directly. I mean, you make the same mistake as the other guy. Is it a random cluster? No. It doesn't appear to be loading. Double check this ID for me and see if it is just incorrect or something. Let's remove the 4 and see what happens. Yeah, it's not loading. Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to visit that planet in this episode. If you can correct the ID on that, I'll definitely check it out. So let's check out the next one, which is from Quinn Alexander. But first, yeah, basically, I uploaded that pretty late on Halloween. I basically went trick-or-treating and stuff, took the kids out and all that, and yeah, we actually did end up with a lot of candy and all that. And then I think I had that recorded before I actually left, and then I ended up uploading it, and then I made a thumbnail for it like the next day or something like that. That could be. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Quinn Alexander, this first one did not load, and this was apparently a Terra with purple atmosphere and red oceans, kind of like the one we just visited a little while ago. So let's try the next one you suggested, which is a tidally locked Titan close to the Milky Way center. Speaking of Milky Way, I do have a lot of Milky Way bars. Okay, let's go. Your second one loaded. Your first one didn't, so Quinn Alexander, see if you can try to correct that one, if you're so inclined to. So this is pretty interesting. We have a red Titan here. A lot of lights and stuff, very separated. It's tidally locked, though. It's tidally locked. And it's red. Okay, so this is a very, very unusual planet, and don't mind me as I just, just add this to my list. This is pretty cool looking. Let's go ahead and touch down in this kind of hilly. We have like those round hills, and then we have the spiky mountain hills, which look like they're fairly eroded as well. Okay. Wow, okay, we have a contender here for possible thumbnail. Which one will get the thumbnail? Definitely unique. If I do another Beauty of SpaceEngine video, this one's probably going to be in it, because this is awesome looking. So it's not really so much of a hell world as I've seen previously. It's really beautiful. It has a yellow horizon, really nice yellow horizon, a red atmosphere, and it's in a star cluster and or the center of the... Wait a minute. That's a black hole. Right there. That flickering one. Right in the center there. This one. Is this Sagittarius A? Let's slow down. Is this Sagittarius A? Is it really how close to the center of the Milky Way we are? Yeah, it's Sagittarius A. Okay, so we're not too far out at all. Okay, so we can literally see Sagittarius A from our night sky pretty much. Let's see if I can actually do that. Let's go to like the sunset here. Look up at the sky and let's zoom in. We got a lensing effect and there's Sagittarius A right there in our night sky. If you had a telescope, you can literally see the center black hole of this galaxy. Whoops. What did I do? Fix my field of view. Okay, it was zooming me out because my field of view was tweaked. Yeah, okay, so from this Titan, you can literally see Sagittarius A. Of course, surviving on this planet might be impossible given the amount of radiation and stuff that would probably emit. But that would just be my guess. I don't really know how much radiation a supermassive black hole would emit, but I imagine being this close to a black hole of that scale would not be too healthy. But we have a lovely, kind of big aurora effect going on here, so it must be a pretty low altitude if I'm seeing it this closely. Yeah, and it actually is. And there's our parent star. We are sitting at a distance of 0.07 astronomical units. How far away is this star? Is this a brown dwarf or something? Is that why it's red? What are you? Red dwarf. Really tiny red dwarf. Okay. I think this was the Titan we're on. So, yeah, we're actually not too far out from that star at all. And we are tidally locked, so we have this huge storm here. Can't really see too much of it. That's apparently the eye of the storm right there. I might be sitting underwater. That might be why. Yeah, I'm sitting underwater. That's why I can't see the storm. I can still barely see the storm. It's kind of overcast. Kind of a nice red overcast on this planet. Yeah, this is just really cool looking in general. Like, even during the day, it looks like you can see pretty much everything. You might even be able to still see the central black hole, whichever one of these dots it might be. It's just not as prominent and visible. Kind of a nice, I don't know what color that would be. It's really saturated by the star and atmosphere, so I think that might be brown. That'd be my guess, but I could be totally wrong about that, so I don't really know what color that terrain is. And yeah, this is just really cool. If you guys want to visit, the ID is in the top left, and really cool suggestion, definitely. Like I said, if I do another Beauty of Space Engine video, this one is definitely going to be featured in it at some point. Because, yeah, I mean, this view. And what do you guys think? I know I forget who, somebody commented they didn't really prefer the 360 videos and stuff. The Beauty of Space Engine videos, I just felt like doing a 3D one because I wanted to do like 4K 60 FPS and all that. That was just kind of more of an experimental thing, not really so much that I plan to constantly do that for every single video that I make, and that is a huge gas giant right there in the background. There's our Milky Way galaxy. But yeah, I don't plan to do that for all my videos or anything like that. Like these videos, they're I don't think I'm ever gonna have a 3D or a 360 video of this. The Space Engine one, I think it was kind of cool because, like I said, I mostly focused. I mentioned this in the previous video. I mostly focused on areas where you'd be able to actually look around and see different things in the sky. Look around and see like a star cluster over there. See the galaxy right there. And is that the Carina Nebula? Oh, you can see the Carina Nebula from the inside of the Milky Way. That's super interesting. And yeah, basically I just wanted to make it to where you always had something to kind of look at in the whole 360 view. So you're not generally focused on one thing. Like there was that one scene where there was the giant galaxy as I was kind of gaining altitude on that one desert world. But you could look down at all the mountains below you. You could look up at the galaxy, which I think was the Milky Way. Because I was at a star that was sitting like way up here or something above the Milky Way, so you can kind of see the Milky Way as you just kind of sat above it, or you could look down at the world and look around. It was mainly stuff like that. I wanted it to where you could actually like look around, not just be generally focused on one thing. Of course, I do plan on probably doing a lot more videos like that and stuff, but Yeah, it's not going to be the most prominent thing on this channel. It's not going to be taking over anything. Anyways, let's check out the next thing from Quinn Alexander, which he says it is a binary system with 3 planets that host life. It looks like my game has crashed. I do have a runtime error right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording and I'm probably going to stitch this video together. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to pause the recording because I didn't know if that was OBS or the game itself. I don't normally get runtime errors. But here we are, right at the back. Oh. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so we're right back at the beginning of the game. And, yeah, I wanted to pause the recording because I didn't want to lose like 40 minutes of footage. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion that Quinn Alexander has. He says it is a binary system with 3 planets that host life. Let's check it out. Okay, so it's in a faraway galaxy. And it looks like we are in an elliptical galaxy. Very interesting. Let's hit F2, and it looks like we have immediately a gas giant with aerial life. Nothing too interesting about this. Kind of our standard colors of gas giant too. But the life that is on this planet would be bacterial life and things that are kind of airborne. And there is a big glitchy black hole in the center of this gas giant, as is typical. It's not actually a black hole, it's just the way it renders it. Over here, it looks like we have a planet with marine life. It is a Terra with kind of a nice white color to it. I assume this is possibly snow, simply due to the fact that it's sitting at negative 32 degrees Celsius. And what was that? Oh, is this actually telling me my temperature where I'm at? The game didn't update. I don't recall seeing that before. Is it telling me my temperature based on the location I'm at? When was that a thing? Touchdown somewhere cold. Why is this warmer? Right here? On the cold side of this volcano? That's definitely colder. Very interesting. And as I go to the dark side, it gets colder and colder, and it seems like the lowest temperature is negative 101 degrees Celsius. When did it display that? Did I enable something to make it display that? If you looked at the temperature on the left, it was actually showing the temperature. Anyways, as I was going to say, it's a planet with marine life, so we're not actually going to be able to physically see planet, or the, not planets, the plant life on the world itself. And over here, getting sidetracked, we have this lovely kind of Uranus-looking planet. No, not Uranus. Saturn? Probably more like Saturn. And we can see a little shadow from the moon right there. Since it's a binary star system, it looks like we have 2 shadows for this eclipse. Very cool. And we have some nice compact rings. It looks like 2 layers. Very awesome. Wanted to get sidetracked by that planet because I noticed it's pretty rings. I really love rings that look like that. So over here we have a desert with life, and it is a very cool looking one. Really nicely detailed. I like the cloud layer on it. Of course, there's not going to really be much liquid, and if there is, it's going to be in basically puddles and small craters, ravines, and rivers. So let's see. The temperature of this planet is 83 degrees Celsius, so it's actually a very hot planet. Not something we would consider comfortable for sure, but other organic things can certainly survive here, and it looks like we have terrestrial life. We have some lovely hills here that are really nicely generated, and they have kind of a nice erosion effect. Really natural looking hill. The only thing unnatural about it is this very purple atmosphere. Looks like over here we have a huge, what used to be lake bed probably. Looks like a huge salt lake pretty much. And I'm not seeing life textures yet. In fact, I actually might have just found it. Kind of got some greenish orange life here. Of course, I think we're sitting pretty much at the sunsets. Notice I say sunsets because it looks like we have 2 stars up there in the sky. Over here, it looks like we kind of have some type of life texture here. Top-down satellite footage, I guess. Not too sure. If we touch down over here, we have actually a pretty beautiful looking sunset. Of course, it's already set, and this is basically twilight on this planet, but this lovely detailed cloud layer, which really makes it look nice. And we have some pretty tall mountains here. So if we look back, we have kind of a greenish orange hue where the sun is not actually shining over there. And it looks like we're mostly being blocked out by these two stars here. Go ahead and fly back a little bit and see what colors we kind of get going on here. It looked like it faded to a nice kind of orangish red. Yeah, so that's kind of our sunset hue. So, pretty cool. The atmospheric composition is CO2 and oxygen. We are at a pressure of 0.8 atmospheres of pressures, so very close to actually Earth. Would we be able to survive on it? I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, very cool looking planet. If we sat right here, or maybe on like one of the dark, or on the dark side of the planet, we might actually be able to survive, but it would still be very warm even at night. Of course, actually no, it'd actually be pretty cold. The reason I say that is because it looks like the rotation of this planet is actually pretty slow. So let's touch down right here and check the temperature. It's still saying 83 degrees Celsius, so yeah, it still does not seem very correct. Because that is the dark side of the planet, it should be colder. And no, it's saying it's colder right here. Yeah, I don't actually know what that is. This is where the sun's shining. It should be hotter, right? But maybe I'm incorrect. Not too sure. It's definitely warmer over here. Is it because of a moon? Are you making a hot little Selena asteroid thing? Asteroid? I doubt you are. Where'd that planet go? There it is. Okay, that's a little bit more like it. It's 13 degrees Celsius over here. So yeah, we would only be able to survive on this planet at night. During the day, we would probably go through like some type of heat stroke or just die of dehydration pretty much. Go ahead and move on to the next planet, which is from Full Drag 7802. He says, I should check this out. Tidally locked Terra with no storm. But land on the day side. What is so interesting about the day side? Let's check this out. Yeah, we can see a beautiful star cluster right there in the background of this planet. Very awesome. Oh, there's a question mark there. Okay, here we go to a very cool looking tidally locked Terra, apparently. Okay, there's a storm. What you might have going on is if you hit Control C, no, Shift C, you might have the clouds disabled. So make sure you have the clouds enabled by hitting Shift C. And yeah, there is actually a very big storm and a really nice, lovely detailed one. So if I land on it, what is so cool about it? Let's land particularly in this general area. Mainly because there's an eclipse going on and that's kind of cool. Okay, so it looks kind of Earth-like, the atmosphere. Oxygen, CO2, and nitrogen. And H2O. Actually, this is a very Earth-like planet. Let's see, the ESI is 93%. The only problem with it being is it's tidally locked. So we have some nice round hills here. We probably would not be able to survive in this area of the planet because it is very... Actually, no, we probably would. But this area of the planet is actually sitting at negative 20 degrees Celsius. There's actually snow caps here. You know what? This actually isn't all that hot of a planet. The planet itself, the temperature, average surface temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. Very interesting. Right here, it's saying 2 degrees Celsius. Is that storm actually? It's just off. It is showing some very odd numbers. But for a tidally locked planet, we'd be able to survive again on the kind of frozen to warm equator area, because this will be always facing the sun. And we basically would not have nighttime. We'd have a perpetual kind of late afternoon sunset-ish kind of thing going on. So let's land right here. We have some lovely clouds. And let's see if we can... No, we actually can't see the life because it's actually marine life. Well, kind of our standard tidally locked Terra. We have a nice frozen layer over here where it's actually freezing over. And this is very likely actually water ice. So, very cool. And if there was a planet we could terraform, this would certainly be one of them. It looks like we are possibly sitting in the center of a galaxy. The center of a galaxy. Sorry for the Windows ding sound. No, we're sitting above the center of a galaxy, aren't we? Let's zoom out and check this out. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Is that the Milky Way galaxy? This might just be the... Yeah, that's the Milky Way galaxy. So we're in the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Could have been able to notice that, but I didn't. Ooh, that's a bit laggy. Not sure what's up with that. Anyways, yeah, cool little tidally locked Terra, and would definitely be inhabitable by us. Let's see, the atmospheric pressure is sitting at 0.41 atmospheres of pressure. So that would be our problem. We don't fare well with low atmospheric pressure. We can do high pressure, provided we adapt to it. But adapting to low pressure would be a difficult challenge for us. So whether or not we'd be able to survive this, we would have to essentially adapt to that level of pressure and basically kind of breed under that pressure and basically have it in our genes to survive under this level of pressure. I don't think we would be able to go from Earth to this planet if we just teleported from surface to surface and actually be able to survive. It would be like standing on top of Mount Everest pretty much. Which people to actually breathe on the top of Mount Everest and stuff, they have to go through like weeks and weeks of like basically training their lungs and body to actually handle that. So yeah, it'd be like going to a very, very tall mountain where the air is a lot thinner and everything. So yeah, whether or not we would actually be able to survive on this planet is definitely questionable. And the atmospheric pressure is even lower where I'm actually sitting at right now. So yeah, this would definitely be a challenge to survive on, but it's definitely the composition that we would need to survive. Anyways, I do think that is the last suggestion. If I missed you, do leave me a comment in this video. But yeah, it's been a while since I did one of these videos. It's been like 1 or 2 days. I've mostly been distracted. Been playing a lot of Minecraft and stuff. But yeah, I've been kind of uploading like KSP and a little bit of Universe Sandbox here and there. Like yesterday, I uploaded that video of like a tennis ball and a baseball going supernova. Yeah, I was very confused by that. There were 30 masses of sun, though, so it made a little bit of sense, but... Yeah, I managed to collide the two, make them go supernova, create a star, a black hole, and a bunch of gas giants. Anyways, if you guys like the video, please leave it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help, and I will see you guys in the next one.